What's up guys, my name is Brandon and today we have some big news revolving around the 2019 iPhone, presumably called the iPhone 11. Today we got our very first look at what it could possibly look like. So obviously 2018 was the S year. Of course we got the XS and the XS Max along with the iPhone XR, but 2019 is the year of somewhat redesign. Maybe not a complete overhaul, a complete redesign, but we're expecting something to be changed on the exterior of the iPhones. And like I said, here's a look at what we could possibly be seeing in 2019 for the flagship iPhone. So these images are courtesy of OnLeaks and Digit, and you can see the iPhone 11 looks very weird. I mean, we have a triple camera setup on the back, and I'm not sure if it's just the image or that looks like this, or if the camera bump is actually going to be this huge in person. I mean, sure, having all these cameras and everything, I'm sure it's going to take amazing pictures, but wow, this thing just looks really strange. It really doesn't look like anything Apple would do because it's just bulky. It just looks really weird. It's not uniformed like we usually see with everything that Apple makes. But the thing is, OnLeaks is historically accurate when it comes to iPhone leaks and render. So this could very possibly be exactly what Apple is working on right now. Now, OnLeaks does claim that the 2019 iPhones are still in the EVT stage, or the engineering validation test stage. So things could definitely change because technically this is still a prototype. So obviously little minor things could change, but they're pretty confident that this is how it's going to look on the rear of the 2019 iPhone, the flagship model. And to add even more validity to these leaks, another well-known Apple leaker, Ice Universe, has also confirmed that the leak renders are correct and the Apple's 2019 flagship phone will look something like this image here. So yeah, I mean, the more you look at these cameras and just the whole module on the back, it just doesn't look like Apple. I mean, I do feel like a triple camera setup will happen because it's been said that Apple is greatly going to improve the camera on the iPhone for 2019, but I just think that would look better with like 3 consecutive cameras in a line, like in a row, just like the iPhone XS and XS Max, but with another lens right below it. Now, obviously, I think that looks better, but I'm not on Apple's engineering team. I'm not, developing this product. And what Apple wants to do with the 2019 iPhones with 3D, which I'm going to talk about in a second, may not work when you have just 3 cameras and a line. That may just not work with what Apple is trying to do with these cameras and the whole camera setup on the back. And all the rumors started when Bloomberg reported that Apple is going to implement some sort of 3D technology into the camera. So the cameras are going to be able to do something related to 3D. So we don't really know exactly what yet, but Bloomberg did report on that. So that could be why the back of this iPhone and that whole camera setup looks so weird. And Apple is also looking to adopt long distance 3D time of flight technology for the 2019 iPhones, and they will be sourcing that technology from Sony. And you can see here in the article, it says the third camera can be used to focus faster on the object and to create 3D models. It can track objects even in the dark almost instantaneously by throwing laser pulses at the object and measuring the time taken by the laser to bounce back to the sensor. The sensors can have an even bigger impact in AR and VR. Sony claims the TOF sensor can be used to map rooms in real time. In a demonstration, the report claimed Sony showed the camera can be used to track users' hands in game, like casting a spell. So yeah, having the third camera on the back of the 2019 iPhone, the iPhone 11, could be a game changer, especially if you could just 3D map like an image in real time. That would be really, really amazing. And it's going to be even more interesting to see what else changes with the iPhone 11 because pretty much everything else on the back looks the same. I mean, we have the same, glass backing with the Apple logo in the same spot, and it looks about the same size as the iPhone XS Max. But just because it looks the same doesn't necessarily mean it's going to end up being the same, because according to an analyst, we may be seeing USB-C on the 2019 iPhones, just like what Apple did with the iPad Pro last year. And this same analyst also said that Apple could cut down the size of the notch on the front of the phone, which is very possible. And then another prediction that he had that I personally cannot see happening, and a lot of people also have a hard time believing this, is that Touch ID built in under the screen. And the reason I don't think this is going to happen is because Ming-Chi Kuo also said that there's not going to be any kind of technology underneath the screen for finger processing or fingerprint scanning until at least 2020. So I would not expect that on the 2019 iPhones, but it is coming definitely in the future. And it's interesting that OnLeaks did not post an image of the front of this iPhone that leaked and that they rendered out. So they didn't post anything on the front. So it's really hard to tell if that notch is indeed going to be smaller and if there's anything else on the front that could be changed. And you can see from this image here that we do have a render of what a smaller notch on the iPhone 11 could look like. Now, of course, with this bigger camera module and this bigger camera setup on the back, the production price is going to increase for the iPhone 11. So it's going to be interesting to to see if the price increases for the iPhones this year, especially after such a controversy and such a bad year really for iPhones and Apple last year in 2018. And given the bad year of sales in 2018, I have a feeling that Apple is just going to keep the price of the iPhone 11 the same as the XS and XS Max. Even though it is going to cost more in production, I can see them actually keeping the same price just because of the bad year last year and how a lot of people kind of just said that they weren't going to update. You know, it wasn't worth updating for, especially for that price tag. So yeah, it's pretty crazy that we have such a big leak and a big render, a really telling render this early on. I mean, we're in January right now, 9 months away from the actual unveiling of the iPhone 11. So it's crazy that we're getting leaks this far ahead, but I think it's really what Apple needs. Again, because such a bad year in sales last year, they need all the hype they can really get for this year to make sure those sales are on par with expectations. And of course, we are also going to get 3 phones in 2019 as well, just like in 2018 with the introduction of the iPhone XR. We're going to have the regular flagship model and then the plus size flagship model, and then the second generation of the iPhone XR, which we don't know what it's going to be called just yet. So yeah, some really interesting leaks. Now, I don't know how much people are really going to care about the 3D capabilities of the, you know, triple lens camera on the iPhone 11. So it's really going to be interesting to see if it's actually better at taking pictures and video as well. I would assume it is, but a lot of the reports are saying that that third camera lens is specifically for 3D capabilities to, you know, shoot things and be able to have 3D capability built into the iPhone. But I feel like if it stays at 12 megapixels and it's pretty much the same camera as the iPhone XS and XS Max, just with the addition of one lens just for 3D, I don't feel like a lot of people are really going to want to upgrade for that. I mean, just not everybody is really into 3D mapping and things like that. You know, I'd say most people are not really into something like that. It's just going to be more of the technical people like myself and probably you guys watching. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Apple changes up something as well, because I feel like if they don't and the price stays the same or even increases, I still feel like people are not really going to upgrade. So I think Apple really needs to change something else besides just the camera to have a good year of sales in 2019. So those are my thoughts. I'm really curious to know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. So make sure to leave a comment down below with what you want out of the 2019 iPhones. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I will be making more videos on iPhone rumors. I'm sure there's a ton more coming, and I will be posting those here on the channel to keep you guys as up to date as possible with what the next iPhones could and probably will look like. So yeah, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.